Alright, so attempt 1,293 on trying to get this freaking Remington Rustler RM2510 to run. If you've seen the last video, part 1, we was having an issue with the starter assembly on it, I guess is the technical term, and we couldn't get, this is the piece, the issue we had is this piece had, you see there, the crack there, and there's also a crack down here. So I don't know how they managed it, because it had, this one still, you can still kind of see the dent in it, but got that pretty much straightened out. And if you've seen in the first video, this piece sets, if I can get it down in there, just like that. You got 2 screws and the plastic assembly sets down in. But they had, this side was caved in, this side was dented a little bit, so I don't know how they managed all that. So that was pushed in, and this part, spring loaded, sets like this, like so, and it just spins on it, springs back, and then you have your recoil spring, which is down underneath that metal disc. So got to looking at this, cleaned it up the best I could. Only thing I could think of, because it's, like I seen in the previous video, cheapest I could find that, you had to buy the whole housing assembly. You couldn't get just like pieces and parts. It was like $60 with shipping. And so my main goal here is I just want to hear to see, get this thing to stay together long enough to see if the trimmer actually runs. So we done, so cleaned it up, trimmed off some burrs, and just covered it in super glue, and let it set, cure. But I did put it down in here, and happened to notice, so you got your notch right there on this end. It goes, I probably won't pick it up, but on the upper left right there is a spring that goes into that notch for your recoil, so it's in there. And that piece of spring right there catches this notch when it sits down in. But I noticed when I put it in that it did not, this piece didn't want to spin. It sits down and everything like it should, but when it's in here, this part we had last, the problem we had last night, kept locking up every time you pulled on it, and it's like super stiff even when, so now it's putting tension on, well it's this way, put tension on the recoil spring, nothing. You can see it, you help it and it'll turn back. So the problem we got, I got to looking at it, and this part, when it sets on, get this back up out here, when it sets on the shaft, it is, that might just slide out, there we go. It is catching and not letting it spin. So it slides down, when it slides down on here, it's like super tight. I mean, it's even with your fingers, it's really hard to turn it. So I don't know what's up with that. So the only remedy I have for that, since this is something that we're kind of playing around with and not dropping any money into, you can kind of see there's a little bit of a burr here on the edge. So I don't know, I don't have a clue on how they managed to do all that, but they really jacked it up somehow. So the plan is to take our multi-tool here and just buzz it a little bit. Nothing crazy, extreme, you know, not even like we're going to thin it out all crazy. Just going to run it around a few times to see if we can open it up some, just enough to get it to spin on that shaft and make life a little easier. So hopefully this works. I'm hoping. Now I just want to hear the thing run. I'm not going to try to sell it or anything, even if it does run. You know, I don't screw people over like that. So let's see if that helped any. If it don't run, it don't run. There we go. It's starting to work. So you can see it's starting to. So it is starting to free up some. I'll take a little bit more off. Make sure I don't feel no burrs. I don't feel no burrs on it. So we're getting there. I mean, I don't know what's got all that going on, because this is, you know, obviously the OEM part. I don't want to take too much off, because I don't want to make it to where it's like super sloppy on there. Nice headache. I definitely don't have none down here. A piece of fine sandpaper just to, you know, run through there and try to smooth her out some. So there we go. You can see now how much easier it's spinning. Before it was just like 2 fingers and you could barely get it to move. So let's take that off. Drop this piece down. Find our spring, which is right there. Get it to drop in place. There we go. Our big spring. Slide this piece back on and see if we get any issues. Yeah, so now you can see how it's springing back. It's definitely what we wanted, so honestly don't know what was going on there, but it's like we took care of it. So what I gotta do now, I won't bore you with it, is restring it, which is simple. So I get some new string on it, and once you get the new string on, that's when your ring goes back on and the metal plate. And so get that on it, reassemble it, and we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll start, maybe this thing will fly apart. I don't know. We'll see. But if it runs, I'll just use it around the house. But alright, we get this thing reassembled and we'll see what we come up with. Alright, here we go. We're trying to fire it up. It actually, to be honest with you, I lost some footage. I had it fired up and it was running down in the basement. And went back through. I didn't even know I lost the footage, but so I brought it outside. It's been kind of windy, so hopefully I don't have any issues here, but I did have to adjust the high setting on it when I had it running. So that's a spoiler alert. It does run, or did run. So we'll try to get it started back up here. Oh, of course. Oh. You guys will not believe the crap I'm going through to show you that this thing runs really good, but I lost the footage of it. Came out here to try to start it to show that it actually runs and runs really well. Sure enough, I pull the cord gets stuck out of the starter assembly, rip it apart, and as soon as I set the engine assembly down, the cord went shooting straight back in. So I'm going to reassemble it real quick before it gets dark and try to get it to start for you. This thing runs like a top. You hear the cable in there kind of flapping around. I'll show you, I got a piece loose on the end, but I'll show you. But it runs really, really good. But the problem I had was I thought the metal snap ring in there popped off, but it's kind of weird. Just like I was saying, I came out here, I was going to just base defeat with this one and just use it for parts. Figured no, because I'm not one to really give up easy on them. So I came out, brought the tools out, brought it outside, and started ripping it apart. And sure enough, since I got the engine assembly off the shaft and set it down, it recoiled itself. So I don't know what's going on in there. The engine assembly is just toast. And but it runs good. So I know I got a good carburetor. Got a good. The motor itself's good. And but yeah, so it is actually good. Just needs an engine assembly. Or no, sorry, it needs a. Trying to hurry up so I don't drag it out on you. It's the starter assembly needs replaced. It's $60. These trimmers are. There's no way I'm dropping $60 in this thing. If I, you know, the condition it's in, I can't sell it. I mean, I could. Yeah, I could sell it as parts, but as a running functional trimmer, I couldn't do that to somebody because it definitely has issues, and I'm just not that way. But it's personally, would I buy one of these after fighting with two of them like this? Not a chance in hell. And so it's not a bad job to do, but if you could get the simple little parts that you need for something like that, it'd be great. But having to buy that whole plastic starting assembly, nah, I'm good. Now, real quick, the other Remington we done that's like this one, we done, I think it was like 2 or 3 videos ago. I'll show you the line that I had in that. Yeah, it's right here. This is from Walmart. It's 095 line. I was hoping to get this one running, which it runs, and I want to try a smaller line on it. Now this is 095. This I picked up at Walmart dirt cheap. So I have 095. Hey, street light kicked on. All right. So I have some 080 and some .095, which is what I was running the other Remington on. Now if you look on, this is the same setup as the other one. If you look, it's going to be hard to see because it's getting dark on me. Like this one here, it's .095. This is .080 and .065. And the other trimmer, I think, would have ran perfectly great if I'd have had 065 line on it. But when I hit thick grass with the with that trimmer with that 095 line, it didn't like it. It didn't like crazy bog or anything like it. I mean, you guys heard it running. I mean, it done pretty good, but you could tell the difference. And I think it'd be a much better trimmer personally if you ran .065 line on it. Maybe .080, but I know that 095 I had on it. It just, I don't know. I just didn't think it was right for it. And but this one took the Pac-Man tool to do the carburetor adjustment. The high setting, I'll get it up here, show you. The high setting's on the outside there, and the high setting was off just a smidge. And when I had it running the first time, which I lost the footage of, unfortunately, but it was off just a hair. I just gave it a small turn, and this thing was up and running. Like it did idled perfectly. And the low was set good, but the high was off just a little bit. Made that small adjustment, this thing took right off. And but that starter assembly is just toasted. And I did find I got on eBay and looked and found an RM2510 just like this. And the guy he was selling the full engine assembly, everything from here up, for $28. If read the description, sure enough, the engine assembly was bad. So I mean, $28 wouldn't have been too awful bad, but I'm not dropping 60 in it. And but that's it. It runs, so it's kind of a half win. But I personally wouldn't buy one brand new. I'd save up the extra money and go with a little bit better product than these. It's all MTD, and it's just mass produced. I mean, it's good for a small yard, but if you're doing a bigger yard, I'd save the money up and you know, try to catch something on sale. My personal opinion, but hey, it runs really, really well. So it's, you know, is what it is. All I can do is just keep it for around the house, and you know, tinker with it here and there, just so it'll start up every time. But thanks for watching. Thanks to new subscribers. You know, you get thumbs up and subscribe, share, and all that good stuff helps the channel grow, which we're slowly growing, but we're growing, and it's definitely appreciated. try to answer the comments when I can. Anybody happens to know of a cheaper place I can get the starter assembly for this besides $60, let me know. I might be interested in that. And other than that, I mean, it was garage kept. It does run good, but man, they are built cheap. They are built cheap. So personal preference, I guess, when it comes to brand names. But as far as this Remington, I personally wouldn't recommend someone buying it. It's a pretty cheesy setup it has in there. But I mean, it works, it functions, but it is built cheap. But so to each their own. If you don't mind it, you can catch it on sale and knock yourself out. You can't knock it. I bought those hyper tough ones. I've been with 3 years now. We've been going on them. They've been, you know, they still run good, but they don't have a cheesy starter assembly like this. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I don't want to drag it out. So we got kind of a win. So it was a fight. It was definitely a fight. But thanks for watching. Don't forget, subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff. Help the channel out. And we'll catch you at the next one.